How's it going, guys? Thank you for joining me today. This is another episode of MMA in the Morning, and today is March 5th, 2021. And we have five topics of the conversation today that we are going to discuss about. And they are Valarie Loureda announcement, Dan Hardy versus Nick Diaz, the release of Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem from the UFC, the potential move of Max Holloway from featherweight to lightweight, and fight announcement: Matt Brown versus Dhiego Lima. All right, so after that, let's go into our first topic of the conversation for today, and that is Valarie Loureda announcement. You guys, I I am not a fan of this. It's just the fact that, you know what, I will be straightforward with you. It's just the fact that she has been teasing us about this announcement for about a week, and finally yesterday was March 4th, and finally she made her announcement. At first, I thought it was a fight that she had a fight coming up, or well, these were the three things that I was thinking of. It was like I said, two fights coming up because Bellator, they are having show in April, so that is less than a month away. Number two, it might be a possible sponsorship, a personal sponsorship that she has signed. And number three, what I thought was contract, that she has signed herself a nice contract, and that she will be with Bellator MMA just a bit longer. But however, that was not the case. If you guys have not seen it, well, it's been a day away, so this might be a bit of a spoiler, and this is the reason why that I was disappointed. Okay, before I mention that what her announcement was, the fourth one, I realized that this is a bit out there, out in the left field, is that there was a possibility that she might have, got pregnant, and yeah, but that was also not the case. So, her big announcement was Valerie. She has opened up her own personal website, which is essentially similar to OnlyFans only, but in this case, there will be no middleman. And when it comes to OnlyFans is the middleman, and they do get a cut from all of their subscriber and from all of their content creator, because essentially they are the provider. Yeah. So that is essentially what her big announcement was. Am I disappointed? You know, well, like I said at the beginning of this video, yes, I was, because you guys, I'm not taking anything away from Valerie. She's leveraging her stardom, her popularity, her fights, because as for now she is undefeated in Bellator. She is 3-0, and let's have a quick look at the record here. She made her debut in 2019, February 16th of 2019, and in 2020 she has only competed once, and that was on September 7th, 2020, and she won at a round 2 ground and pound versus Tara Graft. And before that, during her debut year, which is 2019, she has competed twice, and she won in both those matches. And since then, well, she's 3-0, and because of COVID, I realized that she would like to be more active. And you guys, she is an Instagram model. She's got a lot of follower, and she got this is the reality of the situation. Not just her fighting ability, but she does have that sex appeal, that looks, that attracted a lot of guys. And on the flip side, she is also a bit of a of a role model for female fighters and up and coming fighters. So she's getting the best of the both world. And like I said, I am not mad at her. Like, why should I be? She's doing a thing. She's making money. She's leveraging her sex appeal, her stardom. And you guys, she worked hard, and she did not get to where she is by accident. She has put in a lot of time in the gym, in her training before she even get to Bellator, and even her social media presence. She has been putting a lot of time into that one as well. And after that, like I said, I can't really hate on her. I mean, come on, you guys. If you guys were in that position, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like leverage your parents to make more money? I don't know how much she's making in Bellator, but I think this is gonna make her a lot more money. It's just the fact that it is a subscription and subscriber base, and the amount that she's asking is $9.99 a month. And as for right now, her Instagram, she's got about 600,000 followers the last time I checked. It might go up a bit, it might go down a bit. You know what? I don't really follow her. You know what? I lie. I do follow her, but I don't look at her account every day. Once in a while, I would stop by and take a look because I do like to see her compete. And this is how I found out about her new venture into, well, subscription-based platform. And I love this. It's just the fact that she is in control. She is in control of her future, her destination. She doesn't have to wait, and she doesn't have to wait for Bellator to come in and offer her next fight, offer the opportunity, which she could have that chance to make more money. And in this case, when it comes to this website, every month she will guarantee an X amount of revenue coming in. And on top of that, she still is promoting her products on Instagram, and she's got a bit of a follow there as well, and she does have a bit of follow on Twitter as well. Valerie, good to you. You know, you are living a dream. You are taking your future. You're putting your future in your hand, and you're just running with it. Like I said, man, I was hoping for a fight announcement because I'm a fight fan. That's how I get to know her. That's how she was introduced to me as a consumer, as a fan of mixed martial arts. So yeah, but you never know. This is just a recent announcement, and I did previously mention that Bellator right away in the month of April, they are going to have their shows back. They are going to start running the shows again, and I cannot wait. And I cannot wait for that to happen because it's been a while. I like the UFC. I like to watch these guys fight, but I'm just tired of watching the same products, the same people, the same presentation, and I just want to see something new. And also on top of that, I would really like to see how far she could take her fighting career, because she's still very young. She was born in 1998, and this right now is 2021. So she's only 22 years old. 22 years old, she has accomplished a lot. And as of right now, like I said, she has accomplished a lot, but there are more. There's more that she is gonna do, that she is gonna accomplish. Her future is bright, you know. Yeah. Valerie, good luck. Congratulations on your new startup. I'm sure that you're gonna get a lot of subscriber, that you are gonna get a lot of guys looking you up. Unfortunately, I am not gonna be one of them. Well, it's not unfortunate. I just have no interest. I mean, yeah, it's not for me. Well, okay. Now I'm just ranting again because that's what I do. Okay, guys, so that is my quick thought on Valerie with her new venture, her big announcement. Like I said, it is gonna make her a lot of money. Kudos to you. and I am still gonna follow her once in a while. I would check up on her on Instagram to see what her next fight is gonna be. I will be a fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being a hater. Like I said, I am still gonna be a fan. I'm looking forward to see what's gonna happen with her. Valerie, good luck, and yeah. All right, guys. So after that, let's move into our second topic of the conversation, and that is the possibility of Dan Hardy versus Nick Diaz. Well, okay. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, me personally, yes, I would like to see it, and this is the reason why. It's just the fact that you guys, I have been watching mixed martial art for a very long time, and for me, this is just bring back the old guard. It's nostalgia, and I like both these fighters. Both of them are. You know what? I just like me personally. I like the striking. I like people that strike. I tend to sway towards that instead of, let's say, Jinjutsu player. And these two guys, they throw hands. Essentially, they throw hands. But let's have a quick look at their record. I'm gonna start off with Dan Hardy. Dan Hardy has a record of 25, 10, and 1 no contests. That is his overall record. And he last compete was on UFC on Full TV on September 29th, 2012. And that was the win. And well, 2012, almost 10 years ago. And Dan Hardy, before he chose to step away, he was on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Amir Sadollah on September 29th, 2012. And also in 2012, he beat Dwayne Ludwig on May 26th, 2021. And on the flip side, we got Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, he hasn't competed since January 31st, 2015, which he headlined opposite of Anderson Silva. And as you guys know, Anderson Silva, he is also no longer within the UFC. But the difference between the two is that when I said the two, I mean the difference between Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva is that, believe it or not, Nick Diaz, he is still under contract with the UFC. And the reason behind that is that Nick, he chose to retire, essentially a self-retire. He was not forced, he was not released from his contract. He just essentially saying that he doesn't want to fight anymore, he doesn't like to hurt people, and he chose to step away from sport just for a bit. And like I said, the last time he fought was in January 21st, 2015, January 31st, I apologize, January 31st, 2015. And you guys, he did lose to Anderson Silva in that competition. But however, Anderson got popped with a banned substance, and that was overturned to a no contest. And on the flip side, I mean, Dan Hardy, this is 2015. Dan Hardy hasn't competed until 2012, since 2012. And I'm looking at Nick Diaz's record right now. He is on a 3-fight losing streak. But the people that he lost to is nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, well, the last one was a no contest, so I'm not going to call that as a loss. And that was a no contest versus Anderson Silva. He lost to George St. Pierre in 2013. And then he lost to Carlos Condit in 2012. And before that, he was on an 11-fight win streak from 2008 2011. Well, that's a very active schedule. 3 years, for 11 times in 3 years. Let me double check here. Yeah, 11 times in 3 years. And since then till now is March 5th, 2021. Okay, he hasn't competed since 2015, like I just mentioned, and his last win before that was on 2021 of October. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I realized that Dan Hardy, he's been out of the game just a bit longer, because Dan Hardy hasn't competed since 2012, and he was on a 2-fight winning streak before he choose to step away from the sport. While Nate Diaz, I realized that he has competed recently, as in 2015, but that's 6 years ago, and he was on a 3-fight losing streak. Like I said, you guys, these guys, they are well known to the general public, especially Nick Diaz. He's got a very strong lore base. He's got a very strong follower. So him and his brother Nate, these guys, they literally have a cult-like follower. Like, people will follow him, like, essentially where him and his brother will go. They will always tune in to watch them fight because of their personality, the way that they present themselves, of who they are as a person. Okay, so Nick Diaz, he's got that fan base. They will, like I said, they will always follow him, and regardless if he or if they, when I say they, at the UFC, if the UFC put him in a pay-per-view card or on a ESPN Fight Night card, I can see this being as in ESPN Fight Night card. It's just the fact that I don't think the pay-per-view is gonna sell that well. I can see them as being a co-main event, but not as a main event. As a main event, I think that is a bit of a stretch. But however, if they put this on the ESPN Fight Night card, I can see the rating would go to the roof. It's just the fact that it is a free fight, so the people, they don't have to pay for it. But however, when it comes to Nick, he does demand quite a bit of financial incentive. I mean, he wants money. He wants money to fight, and you know what? I can't blame the guy. If this is what I do for a living, if I am getting my face punched in for a living, and I know that I have a strong follower that I will put ass in seat, I will ask as much as I can. I don't know how much that's gonna be, but like I said, I'm gonna ask for how much as I could get. And I realized that his last fight, which was against Anderson Silva, he asked and received, according to release, is that he asked and received $500,000 to main event versus Anderson Silva, and he believed that he won that fight as well. Which, you know what, I don't think you should ever go into a fight thinking that you're gonna lose, because if you do, then you have already lost. And in that fight, I thought it was very competitive. I could see going either way, but once again, it did not go to next way, which gave him a 3-fight losing streak. But like I just mentioned previously, that got turned into no decision because Anderson Silva got popped for a banned substance, and that was in 2015. And on the other side, from Nick Diaz, we have Dan Hardy. Dan Hardy has mentioned for a while through multiple sources when it comes to his UFC inside the cage, his broadcasting that he does for UFC when it comes to the European side, and also through social media, through his Instagram and Twitter. He's been saying for a while that he would like to come back and compete because he's got that itch. He once got that itch to compete, and he wants to get back into the cage. And I also believe that when it comes to, let's say, like, when it comes to money, Dan Hardy, he's always been a company man. I don't think he has ever said no. It seems like, from this is just me from the outside looking in, it seems like he's very easy to get along, and if the UFC asks him to do something, he will do it. And money, I'm not 100%, but I could honestly say, like I said, from outside looking in, I could honestly say if Dan Hardy does choose to step back into the ring, the UFC will compensate him very well, very well. And if this is a one fight off, if this is a one off fight, you know what? These two guys, they are very good fighter. I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna put them in the top 10. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because it's just the fact that they have been out of the game for so long. I mean, but they are still a draw. They still have that name recognition, especially when it comes to Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, he, it's Nick. He's gonna say, well, I'm still top 5, top 2, top 3. I can still be the champ. And I believe that that is the right mentality. If you are a fighter, of that's how you should think, and that's how you should perceive yourself versus the rest of division into UFC, or if not in the UFC, but in the fighting game as a whole. And that's Nick. Nick believed that he is the uncrowned champ. He believed that he beat Carlos Condit. He believed that he beat George St. Pierre, and he also believed that he beat Anderson Silva before that decision was overturned to a no contest. And if that's been the case, then he beat George, the champ, Carlos Condit at that time for the interim title. He's the champ. Nick Diaz, the champ. So with that logic, I'm not even gonna argue with them, because like, why would I? But as a fight fan, yeah, sure, come on in, Nick, come on in, step back in. I would really like to see how he would do versus the current fighters that's within the top 10, or within like I say like top 5 to 10. I want to see how. I just want to see how much the game has catch up to him, because at that time when he was competing in 2015, 6 years ago, he was, in my opinion, he was top 5. But top 5 in 2015 and top 5 right now, there has been a lot of catch up with the current trends of style, of evolution of the fight game. And the other thing is that age is a factor. Nick is not getting any younger, and these guys are getting a lot. Well, these guys are younger, and you guys, the reality of the situation is that Fighter Tom catch up to all of us, and he is getting older. When it comes to his muscle mass, his bone density, when it comes to age, it will always deteriorate in time. I don't know how much of a shot he can take anymore, because I don't think Nick Diaz has ever been knocked out. And Dan Hardy, he's a striker. He would like to go in there and trade hands for hands. And I think that this would be a good style matchup for both these fights, because essentially that is what Nick wants. He wants to go in there and throw hands, and Dan Hardy, he will agree. He will, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's throw hands. And these guys, they are exciting fighters. They're not gonna go in there and take you down just trying to grind. They are not gonna wrestle you. I mean, you know what? I am not a fan of wrestlers. It's just the fact that of what I just said, that they will take you down, they will lay on you, and that's it. They will win in a decision. I am a fan of strikers. It goes strikers, jiu-jitsu player, and then the very, very bottom are wrestlers. I'm just not a fan of lay and pray. Take him down, hold him down, pray for the best, and once in a while, if it's a championship fight, I hate that. If it's a championship fight, come on, man. Okay, so that's my quick thought on the possible matchup of Dan Hardy taking on Nick Diaz. I would like to see this happen. Hopefully it will happen this year, which is 2021. Maybe later on in the year, let's say like October or November. So yeah, that's my quick thought on that. Alright guys, so after that, let's move into our next topic of the conversation, and that is the recently announced the release of Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem. You guys, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, for me, as a fight fan, as a person who has been following the fight game for a while now, these two guys right here, it pains me. It pains me for it pains me to see the UFC let these guys go, especially for Junior Dos Santos. It's just the fact that, you know what, I think I think Dos Santos he's a very nice guy. He is a company's man as well, and he's been doing this for a long time. It seems like he's very easy to get along with, and he is also a former UFC heavyweight champion. And he just, I don't know, I just hate to see nice guys lose. Essentially, that's how I feel. I realized that this is the fight game. This is the UFC. This is what they do because they're trying to make some money, which I can't blame them. You know. But before I go on a rant with Junior Dos Santos, on the flip side, you know what, guys? I hate seeing Alistair Overeem being released as well because he is also another guy that I've been following for a very long time. He's a former K1 kickboxing champion, Dream champion, and also a former Strikeforce heavyweight champion. I'm disappointed, and I am not a fan of this decision because, you know what, I believe that this is just me being emotional because I like to see these guys compete. I realize that they are not gonna stop fighting. They are gonna go to other promotion, but I just hate it. I'm just not a fan. I mean, especially for Dos Santos, he's been putting so many years within the UFC. I've seen this guy get knocked the fuck out. I've seen him like leave so much blood inside the octagon. I just kind of felt that they kind of did him dirty here. That the UFC did Dos Santos a bit dirty here. So yeah, but like I said, man, it's the fight game. But after that's being said, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I mean, these guys are big names. Both of them are former heavyweight champion. I realized that Alistair never captured the UFC title, but Junior Dos Santos have. Okay, let's take a quick look at their resume, at their record. I'm gonna start off with Dos Santos. He captured the first title. The first time he captured the UFC title was in November 12th, 2021, and that was and that was the UFC debut on Fox. He beat Cain Velasquez in round one with punches, with knockout, TKO knockout. Round one, 1 minute 4 seconds. And then he went on to defend it once versus Frank Mir, which he finished him on round two in 3 minutes and 4 seconds into round two. And then they got a rematch between Cain Velasquez on December 29th, 2012. And he lost with a decision there. That was a beating. And then he went on for one more win versus Mark Hunt. And then he got a rematch for their third meeting for Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez for the third time. And that was a stoppage as well. That was a round 5 stoppage, 3 minutes and 9 seconds into the round. And then he won a 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, and then got a rematch versus the champion at that time was Stipe Miocic. And the reason why the UFC put that rematch into effect was that at that time, Dos Santos was the last person who beat Stipe, and Stipe was just running two people, man. Stipe was just running two people. So they decided to give Dos Santos another crack at the UFC title, and he lost. Unfortunately, he lost that one as well. It was round one, TKO, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. in round one. And then after that, he went on a 3-fight winning streak versus Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Ball something, Ivanov. And that was in March of 2019. March, that's ridiculous. His last win was in March. And then he went on a 4-fight losing streak starting June 29th, 2019. He lost to Francis Ngannou, which, who hasn't? It's Francis. So his first loss was to Francis Ngannou on his 4-fight losing streak. He lost to Francis Ngannou on June 29, 2019. And then he lost to Curtis Blade on January 25th, 2020, which just a bit over a year ago. And that was TKO strike as well. And then he lost to Yersin Rosenstruck, round 2, TKO, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And then he lost to Cyril Gane with a stoppage, TKO, KO stoppage with elbow, round 2, 2 minutes and 34 seconds into round 2. Oh my goodness. And you guys, Cyril Gane, he just lost. No, sorry, he just won. He just beat Rosenstruck just this past Saturday when they competed. Yeah, so you know what? I'm looking at this record. I'm looking at this record and it seems like he's no longer be able to compete within the UFC top 5 because essentially these are who these guys are, like Cyril Gane, Derek Lewis, and Rosenstruck, and come on, man, these guys are beasts. So, but I still don't want the UFC to let him go. That's just my personal opinion. Me as a fan, not just a fight, but a fan of his. It pains me. It pains me to see the UFC let him go. And then on the flip side, we got Alistair Overeem. And Alistair right here, this is another surprise to me as well. It's just the fact that he is not Alistair Overeem, he is not on a losing streak. He lost once. And within his last 6 fights, he is 4-2. 4-2 within his last 6 fights. That is above 500 record. I just don't understand why the UFC would let him go. I also realized that Alistair did mention that this run right here, it's possibly his final run for the UFC heavyweight title. Okay, fair enough. If that's how he feels, and he's getting that age, you could never force anyone to fight when they don't want to, and especially when they believe that their time's short, and might be their last run, which he has previously mentioned. Me personally, as a fight fan, I don't believe in that. Well, I do believe in it, but I felt that he's got at least one more run. I mean, he's 4-2 within his last 6. And the 2 competition that he lost to was Rosenstruck and Alexander Volkov. And I realized both those it was a stoppage. But with the Rosenstruck, he was winning that fight until he got knocked out with 4 seconds left. And that was at December 7th of 2019. Okay, December 7th, 2019, he was winning going to round 5, and with 4 minutes and 56 seconds left in that round 5, and he headlined that fight as well. He was gonna win that fight. He was on his way to win that fight, but these guys are heavyweight for a reason, and they got knockout power, and that's what happened there. That's what happened in that situation. He essentially got knocked out. He got caught. That's okay. It happens, man. And his last fight was against Alexander Volkov. You guys, that was, in my opinion, honestly, that was his first loss. That was his first loss in the last five competition. I realized that I did mention that he's 4-2 within his last six, but going to his sixth fight, like the last one that he just lost, I believe that he should have been on a 5-fight winning streak. Like I said, if you take out the one that he lost to Rosenstruck with 4 seconds left, in my mind, he was essentially on a 5-fight win streak. And the loss that he had against Alexander Volkov, that was essentially his first loss within that run. And on top of that, he is still a big name. He is still a big name in the mixed martial art world. He's got a lot of name value. I guess the UFC put him in some kind of sort of a UFC fight night headliner. He still attract traffic to the site. When I say the site, is that to ESPN streaming, and also he's still attracting eyeballs when it comes to television, to TV, because I still watch him. And it's not just me. That the last time I went to the bar and this was on, people were watching him as well. So yeah. But you know what? Like I said, this is not a loss. Well, it's a loss for. You know what? No, I am gonna stick with that. By that, I am saying that this is not a loss for any of these fighters. It's just the fact. It's just the fact that what I just previously mentioned is that these guys are name fighters. They are recognizable names, and I think that this might be one of the best things that could happen to them. Let's just imagine. Okay, let's play a matchmaking and let's play a bit of option. What are their opportunities? Like, where could these guys go? I am going to start off with Junior Dos Santos. If I was Junior Dos Santos, I would sign with the PFL. It's just the fact that the PFL, their heavyweight division is not as deep, and also is that I still believe Junior Dos Santos, he is still among the top 5. The lowest that I would put him when it comes to the mixed martial arts heavyweight, everything as a whole, I would put Dos Santos as low as number 8. But however, the top 5, they're competing within the UFC. And with that elimination, I believe that Junior Dos Santos should be competing in the PFL. He wins 3 rounds. 3 fights. He will make $1 million. And I could bet you, I don't think, like, I'm fairly confident that Junior Dos Santos has never made $1 million within the UFC. And if PFL division is so shallow, why not? Why not? I believe that is the right home for him. I believe that is where he should go. The PFL should be the next destination for Dos Santos. And you guys, if that is how I feel about Dos Santos, the other fighter that just got released by the UFC is Alistair Overeem. For Alistair, I'm gonna pick Bellator MMA, and the reason behind that is Scott Coker. Alistair Overeem and Scott Coker, they have been business partners before, and they got a really good relationship. And Alistair is one of those guys that he doesn't like to turn down fights either. And I believe that with the new signing, with the new distribution deal with Showtime Sport, and of how Paramount's got, and how Paramount, they have been investing additional source of income, additional source of finance to help build the Bellator brand. I believe that if Alistair would go to Bellator, Scott Coker would give him a nice contract, nice incentive for him to fight, and not just about the money. The other end of that is that right now, Bellator heavyweight, it's very shallow as well. Because if he win 1 or 2 fight, or even like 1 fight, I could see him competing for the Bellator heavyweight title, or this is another or. I could always see Scott Coker and Bellator MMA tossing Alistair Overeem in there right away to fight for the Bellator interim heavyweight champion. And this is why. It's going back to the fact that he does have a bit of a name recognition. And as of right now, their Bellator heavyweight champion, which is Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader, he's competing in the Bellator light heavyweight tournament, light heavyweight Grand Prix, and trying to recapture the belt that he lost to Nadim Vormkov. Yeah, so sorry, I just butchered his name there. So let's just imagine if Ryan Bader, if he makes it deep into the tournament, if Ryan Bader makes it to the final, that means that the Bellator heavyweight title hasn't been defended over a year, over 1.5 years. I believe that the last time that Ryan Bader tried to defend the title was against Chuck Conco, and that ended in a no contest, because I believe it was an eye poke. And Scott Coker did mention that if that's the case, if Ryan Bader does get in deep through the Grand Prix, he will set up some sort of interim title just to keep the division going. And I believe that is where Alistair Overeem should be. It's just the fact that his working relationship with Scott Coker, and also I do not want to see Alistair Overeem fighting PFL for selfish reason, and that selfish reason is that, well, you cannot have two winners, because as right now, I did mention that I would like to see Junior Dos Santos compete in PFL in their heavyweight division and take down the Grand Prix title and that $1 million. And if Alistair Overeem goes there as well, well, what if he wins? What if Alistair wins? Then Junior Dos Santos would lose. And if Junior Dos Santos would win, then Alistair would lose. I believe that those two directions that I just mentioned, those are the two best homes right now. Those are two best homes right now, where these guys should be heading towards. And one more thing for Alistair is that if he does sign with Scott Coker, and Scott Coker, he does have a relationship with a recent championship, and Alistair Overeem, he did compete in Asia before with oh my goodness, you guys, I am drawing a blank right now. With Pride until Pride was sold to UFC, and then the groups that own Pride previously to sell, they decided to enter the MMA promotion again, and that is when they created Risen. So I can see that being a fun fight, a good transition between the two promotion and of how they could promote. And Alistair Overeem, he is no stranger. He's no stranger to the way that Scott Coker promotes the fight promotion, and he's not a stranger to the way that the Asian market and the Asian promoter choose to promote the fight game as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, yeah, you guys, like, I am still excited. I am still going to be a fan. I am looking forward to see where these two fighters' path will take them. I will always watch them because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both these guys. So, yeah. So it's not... You know what? Fuck it. I think it's the UFC's loss in this one. That's how I feel. I think the UFC lost in this one. Yeah. Alright guys, so after that, let's move into our next topic of the conversation. And that is Max Holloway Lightweight. That's it. You know what? I think it's time. I honestly think it's time, because Max, he's been competing in the featherweight division essentially his whole career, since he's been signed with the UFC. He's been competing at featherweight since day one. And you guys, Max Holloway, as of right now, he is, regardless of division, when it comes to striking, he is top. In my opinion, just my opinion, he is essentially top five. That's just it. Max, he just said he's number one because you guys, his last fight was at UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus Cater from UFC Fight Island, and that was on January 16th, 2021. January 16th of this year, you guys. This year, this is March 5th, 2021, and that was a beatdown. That's what that was. I mean, it was a 5-round unanimous decision fight. But I'm looking at the strike figure right now. Max Holloway landed 445 significant strike compared to Calvin Kattar 133. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I mean, that fight, when I was watching that fight, I'm like, I thought that the fight should have been stopped because Calvin Kattar, he was taking a beating. He was taking a beating, and you guys, there are levels to this game, and I was watching that fight, and Max Holloway was so much above. He's a few levels above Kattar, and yeah, he just made him look bad. He made Calvin Kattar look like an amateur. To me, through my eyes, from what I was seeing, it seems like I was watching a professional athlete, a professional fighter, versus someone's first day at the job. And you guys, come on, man. This is the UFC. Calvin Kattar, he is a professional fighter as well. He is no joke. Okay? He's no joke. This is what he does for a living as well. And Max Holloway made him look bad. He made him look very bad. Very bad. Okay? And on top of that, okay, as of right now, the champ in the featherweight division is Alexander Volkanovski. And as for now, Alexander Volkanovski, he's got a fight book with Brian Ortega, scheduled for March 27 this month of 2021. You know, Volkanovski has beat Max Holloway twice already. And Max Holloway, he is one of those active fighters. He would like to stay active. And there is a possibility where the UFC could say, hey Max, are you willing to cut some weight? Are you willing to be a back fighter? And Max Holloway, from what I've seen, he doesn't seem like he's one of those guys that likes to say no. If you're asking him to step in on short notice to come in for a fight, he'll do it. It's just the fact that, not just for the title, it's just the fact that he felt that during his last two fights versus the champ right now, which is Alexander Volkanovski, he felt that he won those two fights, those two previous meetings that they had fought. If that's the case, to his mind, he believed that he is defending his title, not trying to recapture another title. And what I just said, like just a few seconds ago, I believe that Max Holloway is also one of those guys that's very easy to work with. He's a company man, and I'm sure that the UFC compensated Max very well, because I've never heard him say anything bad or anything negative about a company, which, for me, you must realize, you must know how much you're worth. And for him, for being a former champion, he knows his value. He know what he could ask for, and he know what he could get. And in this situation, in this case, let's just say on March 27th, he was asked to become a backup fighter. I am very certain that the UFC will take good care of him when it comes to money. But however, this topic of the conversation is Max Holloway to lightweight. Okay, Max Holloway, as of right now, he is on a short list for the flyweight title. because of his last performance, which was ridiculous. I keep saying that because he destroyed him. He destroyed Calvin Kattar. So let's just say for featherweight, okay? Let's get back to featherweight for one moment. Let's just say Volkanovski does beat Brian Ortega. I could see Max being next in line to face up Brian Ortega, and that will be a rematch. Because during the first meeting, Max did beat Brian, and yeah, he messed him up, like right there. Look at this picture here. He really messed him up. So, oh, I froze. Yeah. So would I like to see the matchup? Yes, absolutely. Because for that to happen, for that rematch to happen, Brian Ortega must beat the current champ, which is Alex Volkanovski. And will that happen? Maybe, possibly. I would kind of leaning towards Volkanovski. But on top of that, Max Holloway, he's getting older, and weight cutting is starting to become a bit of an issue for him. And he did mention that previously during the off season, when he's not competing, when he's not training for a fight, he walks around like 175, 177, just below 180. And to me, that is ridiculous. That is so big. Like, wow. Let's say he walks around at 175. That is a 30 pound cut to make it to 145. And during his previous outing at lightweight, it was him versus Dustin Poirier, and you guys, that was a crazy fight. That was such a crazy fight because it went to a decision, and there was another 50-50 chance that Max could have won that fight as well. So after that being said, I would love to see that rematch again. Because as right now, Dustin Poirier, he is essentially the uncrowned champ in the UFC lightweight division. We all know that Khabib Nurmagomedov is the champ right now, but he's been saying for the last while that he's done, he's not coming back. There's no challenge for him in the UFC. He would like to go do something else. He's going to a different he's going to promote, which he's trying to promote the Eagle Fighting Championship, and he's trying to sign a bit of a Fight Pass deal with Dana White and the UFC Fight Pass. And Khabib, he has no desire as of this moment, as right now. Nothing excites him, with the exception of Georges St. Pierre. Besides Georges St. Pierre, I don't know who else the UFC could offer him, Khabib, to come back and fight. Okay, so if the champ is gone, if the champ is no longer competing, and if the champ is no longer have that desire to compete in his division, like, let him go. Because you got Dustin Poirier, uncrowned champ, you got Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje. Those guys that I just mentioned, those 5 guys that I just mentioned, I could see them being a very, very good matchup for Max Holloway, because I believe that he would perform better in this weight class because he doesn't have to cut as much weight. He could put on some muscle mass to his frame, because Max Holloway, he's very lengthy right now, and with a 30-pound cut, at least a 30-pound cut to make it to 145 division, I'm sure that takes a lot of toll on him. And if you keep that muscle mass on him, I could believe that he could perform extremely well. But however, he must do this properly. And the example that I'm going to use in this situation is Dustin Poirier. I mean, Dustin Poirier, when he was competing at 145, he looks slim. He looks like Max right now. That's Max. That's Dustin. Max is what Dustin is right now when he was competing at 145, and then when he moved it to 150, He put on a bit of muscle mass on him. He performs better. I realized that his first fight in that weight class he lost to Michael Johnson, but that is part of the transition phase that he was going through. And after that, Dustin Poirier, he's went on a tear. Besides that one loss, the only loss that he have was to Khabib, and everyone else. The rematch with Conor McGregor, he won. He beat Justin Gaethje. He never fought Tony Ferguson, and he never fought Michael Chandler because Michael Chandler was not into UFC at that time. And I realized that as right now, the UFC would like to book Dustin versus Conor sometime this summer. They're saying the rumors that it's gonna be sometime in May. But that is still that still leave a lot of option for Max Holloway to move up. There are still a lot of fun fights. I would like to see, this is my opinion, if Max chooses to move up to lightweight, this man right here, Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is the first person that I would like to see Max compete in the lightweight division. Because both these guys are like ridiculously good when it comes to striking. They are 1A and 1B. They bring this style that is very unorthodox, style that not too many fighters could implement into their games. It's very crisp. Their striking are very crisp, and they are very good at this one dimension of fighting. I realized that both these guys have been working on their jiu-jitsu, and their wrestling is, well, Tony Ferguson's got a bit because he was a division 1 champion, but excuse me. But Tony Ferguson, he is a striker in nature. He's a striker at heart, and that's what he's known for. And he liked to oblige. If his opponent, in this case Max Holloway, said, "Come on in, stand in the middle, and let's do it," 100%. I see 100%. Tony Ferguson said, "Fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You wanna bang? Let's bang, bro." So yeah, lightweight is where he should be. Lightweight's where he should be. There is a bit of competition at featherweight, but it's, you guys, I don't sound like I am being that guy. That I don't want to be a hater, but the lightweight division is so much more sexy. It's so much more competitive. It's a fun division to be in right now. And the featherweight, it's becoming stale. It's on its way out, and it's not as exciting. It's not as much fun. I mean, in that division, there's only 2 fighters that I want to see compete. Sorry, 3. And that is Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, and Brian Ortega. Those 2 are 1, 2, and 3. But I could only watch so much until I'm like, you know what, fuck it, forget it. I don't want to watch this fight anymore. Because these 3 guys that I just mentioned in featherweight, they are head and shoulder above the rest of the competition. They are 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and below. It's non-existent. 4 and below in featherweight, it should be like 100 and below. They are that far ahead. But if Max moves up, which I want him to, man, the lightweight division for him is so much fun. A rematch between Dustin Poirier, a rematch between Conor McGregor, which Conor beats him in featherweight. And I know that both these guys would bring it. I know that Max would really want to have that fight back, because he's not just an athlete, because he's a world champ. Of course he is an athlete. But it's that desire to win, that desire to get that loss back, which he lost to Conor McGregor at 145. And as right now, I believe that if they have a rematch, I believe that Max Holloway would mess them up. Max Holloway would mess up Conor McGregor. Because Conor McGregor, you guys, this is just my personal opinion. Tell me what you think. I would like to hear it. I believe as right now, Conor McGregor, He's got enough money that he doesn't need to fight anymore. He fight because he chooses to, because Conor McGregor, he's a fighter as well. He's a fighter as well. He likes to compete. This is what he does. This is essentially what got him into the dance. And the dance in this case is the UFC. And that's where he makes his money. And you don't get to that position by not being hungry, by not being one of the best in the world. But that could also be said with Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira, like all these guys, this is what they do. And at the end of the day, you must ask yourself, would it make sense? Would it make sense for Max to move up? What's it make sense? I mean, like, would it make sense for the UFC? Would it make sense for Max? The following reason that I just mentioned, which is on Max, that's why I believe it should make sense for him to move up. How about for money? What kind of money do you think that the UFC would generate from Max moving up to 155? To me personally, a lot. I believe that the UFC can make a lot of money if Max moves up because of the fact that there are a lot of fun fights, a lot of rematch that they can make. The biggest one that's coming off my just coming out my mind right now is Conor versus Max for rematch. And of course, the other rematch was the second one is against Dustin Poirier when they fought for the UFC interim title. That was a ridiculous of a fight. Who would not want to see that again? I do. And Tony Ferguson, holy smokes, man, that is another crazy fight. Michael Chandler, another fun fight. Justin Gaethje, Charles, and what if Nate comes back? Nate versus Max Holloway. That'll be a fun fight as well. Max has mentioned that he is willing to go up to as high as 170. Holy smokes. Yeah. You guys, 155. I believe that is Max Holloway's next home. That's where he should be heading towards. That's where he should take a bit of time off. Just let go of the featherweight division. Let go of the 145. Do it properly. And when I say do properly, I mean put on some additional muscle mass onto his frame. Because I believe that he is still growing into his frame because he looks lean, he looks a bit slim, and just look at this picture right here. Oh, the last one. I mean, yeah, it's just 155, man. 155. That is his home. That should be his new home. Okay, well, you guys, that is essentially my thought on Max Holloway move up to lightweight. He's not moving up right now. I want him to. And those are my opinion. Those are my reasons why I believe that he should. We'll see what happens in the future. But besides that, I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And let's have a conversation. Alright guys, so after that, let's head into our last topic of the conversation today. And that is Matt Brown versus Diago Lima. Okay, so here is a quick recap of what's happening with this fight. Matt Brown and Dhiego Lima, they are scheduled to fight at UFC Fight Night event on June 19th. Okay, so this was announced just a few days ago, March 2nd, and today is March the 5th. So let's take a quick look at their record. Okay, guys. Before I move on, I would like to mention that I like Matt Brown. I like Matt Brown. He is a very good fighter in a sense that he's a striker, and you guys know me. I am a sucker for strikers, and I'm not too much of a fan of wrestlers. So, and on top of that, he is an old guard. He has been doing this for a very long time. And as of right now, this is 2021. I realized that he's going on a bit of a downswing from where he was previously. But you know what? It's Matt freaking Brown, man. You know, like, could you really argue? You could, but I don't know why you would. Okay, so that is a bit of a tangent that I gotta get it out there. Okay, let's take a look at Matt Brown's record for his last few fights. As of right now, his last, oh my goodness, I'm on UFC.com and I'm looking at their fight stats. He is 2-5 within the last 7. Holy smokes! I did not realize it was that bad. So, Matt Brown, he's sitting at 2-5 within his last 7, and he was last compete at UFC Fight Night Holloway versus Cater on January 16th, 2021, when he fought Carlos Condit, and he lost with a unanimous decision. That was this year, a few months ago. And his last win was at UFC 45, UFC 45 Usman versus Covington, December 14th, 2019. So that's a rough one. But let's take a look at his opponents real fast before we get into a bunch of details that I want to talk about. And his opponents is the man right there, Diago Lima. And Diago Lima's record, he is okay. The last 8, he is 3-5. The last 8, so it's not faring that much better. He last competed at UFC 258 Usman versus Burns on February 13th, which was last month, and that was him versus Belal Muhammad, and he lost in a decision as well. That was his last time he fought and his last loss. And his last win was at UFC 43 Whitaker versus Adesanya on October 5th, 2019. And he won with a split decision from Luke Yamal. Something like that. We are going to go with that. Okay, so these guys' record, they are not looking that good, unfortunately. But you know, guys, that does not chide me away. That does not make me want to watch these guys fight, because, like I just previously mentioned, I mean, it's Matt Brown. Who does not want to watch Matt Brown fight? These two guys, they are a slugger. I realized that the last few fights, it was a decision. But if you see Matt Brown's fight versus Carlos Condit, that was a 50-50 as well. It could have gone either way. And the same thing could be said with Diago Lima. Because when he fought against Belal Muhammad, that was a split decision. And with that loss, this is what happened. With that loss to Belan, B-E-L-A-N. I'm having a tough time saying that name. But regardless, with that win for Belal, he is now scheduled to face Leon Edwards in the main event coming up. And as you guys may know, he is replacing Khamzat Chimaev because of, well, COVID. COVID has been taking everyone out. And this man right here, Matt Brown, he's been competing for a very long time. And I believe at one point he might have competed for the UFC interim title. Let's have a quick look. I believe that he did. No, he did not. Because I'm looking at his record right now. There's no belt next to his name. Because I believe at one point he was on that short list to fight for the interim title. But that never came to fruition because he fought Nick Diaz. Am I just making stuff up? Did he even fight Nick Diaz? No, so he fought Maya. He fought Damian Maya. And he lost that one. And also he lost to Johnny Hendrick and Robbie Lawler. Like, those guys that he lost to, those guys are still the best in the division. Well, except for Johnny Hendrick. He's no longer within the UFC. But Damian Maya, Carlos Condit, those guys are, they're still top 10. Essentially, they're still top 10. And for Diago, he lost his last few losses to Yushin Okami, Muhammad, Jesse Taylor, and Li Yinglai, and Tim Means. Wow. You guys, I don't care what anyone says, this is going to be a fun fight. At the end of the day, this is going to be a fun fight. I am still looking forward to it because I am fairly certain. I say 99% certain, because me being biased, I mentioned this before, is that this is going to be a fight. This is not going to be a wrestling match. This is not going to be a point match. This is not going to be so much as of a hit and run. These guys will stand in front of each other. They will throw hands. Because at the end of the day, me as a fight fan, isn't that what I want to see? Yes, it is. And if these guys are going to deliver, why wouldn't I watch it? The answer to that question is that, yes, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? Why would I not watch this fight? And I realize as right now, this is only March, April, May, June. So that's 3 more months. But this fight was just announced 2 days ago on March the 2nd, which is scheduled for UFC Fight Night in July 19th. I don't know how high they are gonna stack this up. I could see this fight being a co-main event. I don't necessarily see this fight being as a main event, but you never know. It could be. As of right now, these two guys, they are not riding. They are not having the best record. Like I said, one is in Matt Brown. He is 2-5, so 2 win within the last 10 fight. And Dhiego Lima, he is 3-5, so 3 wins within the last 8 fight. But you know what, you guys? Me personally, I don't care. I just don't care about record at the moment because I'm a Matt Browns fan. I just want to see this guy fighting. I want him to win, Matt Brown. But you never know. He is getting up there in age as well. I don't think. Well, obviously he can't. Well, I shouldn't say obvious because I don't know. It seems to me that he cannot take as much shots, as much hit as he used to. But he is still in the game. He's still competing at the highest level. And on top of that, there is a possibility that for one of these guys that they are fighting for a job. Because with the recent cut of the UFC, with the release of Junior Dos Santos and Alex de Overeem, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, and this might be it for these guys. If one of these guys lose this fight coming up, it might be the last fight in the UFC for a while, or it might be the last fight in the UFC essentially forever, unless they go into like Bellator or PFL, because as of right now, that is the two destination that fighters, when they get released from the UFC, that is where they tend to head at. The one thing that I don't want to see these guys go to is, you guys, this is just me being me, bare knuckle. Like that is the last place. That is the last place that I want to see these guys go and fight. Is bare knuckle fighting, and that is said. And I'm saying that of how I feel. I don't want Junior Dos Santos or Alex de Overeem going to bare knuckle either. It's too vicious. It's too vicious for me. It's not for my liking. It's not for my liking. I don't find it entertaining. And when I found out that Paige Van Zandt signed with bare knuckle, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is gonna be a bloodbath. And truth be told, I thought that she came out with that fight better than I thought that she would have done. And the reason why I say that is that I kind of thought that heading into a fight, that she would get messed up, she would get cut up essentially. And on top of that, I believe that bare knuckle is the final destination for all fighter. I just hope that that bare knuckle give Paige a very nice payday, which she said that they are, and that's why she's heading back to that promotion soon, sometime this summer. So let's get back to Matt Brown and Dhiego Lima. You guys, I am looking for this fight. I'm a fight fan. A Matt Brown fan, and I can see this being a firework fight. No takedown, just stand, trade. You fall down, you lose. That is essentially what I think is going to happen between these two. I might be wrong, but I'm hoping that I'm not wrong. Let's put it that way. I am hoping that I am not wrong. So that is a quick fight announcement from the UFC. Matt Brown, Dhiego Lima, UFC Fight Night June 19th. I am looking forward to it, and I hope you as well. Okay guys, once again, if you have not, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comment section below, because I would love to hear from you guys. The reason why I'm starting this channel is that I would like to start a conversation, and this is why I'm doing it. Okay, you guys, take care. I would love to hear from you. Take care, stay healthy. I will see you shortly. Good night, guys. Bye. Be safe.